Hello and welcome to another tutorial in the HTML5 series. In this tutorial, let's talk about HTML tables. A table in HTML consists of table cells, rows, and columns. And tables are typically used for arrangement of data in the form of rows and columns. So let's start by creating a table. Before that, I'm just going to go ahead and clean everything up on the existing HTML that we have so far. So let me add uh, a table tag. So table element comprises of a table start tag and a table end tag. And as I've already mentioned, table tag contains table rows, which are defined as tr. And then there is a table cell. Table cells are part of table rows. So this is always a hierarchy that we need to follow while writing while creating a table. So table is the topmost element. Table rows are directly under the table element, and table cells, which are represented by TD, are under table rows. So let's create few table rows. So I have three table rows, and each of those rows, let's create three or just like two columns. Let's start with this. So I've accidentally created another table row within a row. So let me remove this. Okay. Now we have a table element, three rows within the table element, and each of the rows, they have two table cells each. Now let's create something called as name, or yeah, let me just say tag name and description. So let's create a table which renders information about the HTML tag and the description of that tag. So let's start with P, which is the paragraph tag. P represents a paragraph tag. Let's go with another one. Say H3. H3 represents a heading tag. Okay, let's start with this. Um, let's go back and hit refresh. As we can see that it has created some content in a table in the form of a table. So we have two cells on the first row, two cells on the second row, and two cells in the third row. Now let's see how we can style this table. For that, I'm going to go ahead and remove the styles which are not related to the table element, and then I'll create a table definition for CSS here, and I'll give it a width of 100%, which tells the browser that it should render the table with a width of 100%, which means it's going to extend this, occupy the entire page, web page, from left to right. So as we can see, it has created some space. Now let's also add a border to this so that we can clearly see how big the table is. As you can see that the table is occupying the entire screen since we gave the width to the table as 100%. Now let's style TD. TDs are the table cells. Let's give them a border of 1 pixel solid, and then give it a black color. Now if we refresh, it has created a border to each table cell. Let's also add some padding to the table cell. So now we can clearly see the structure of that HTML table. Also, let's add let's make a slight change here. So instead of using a table definition or TD for the cell on the first row, let's make this into a table head. Table head is represented by TH. We can clearly see the difference now. When I save this and go back and refresh it, we can see that table head has a different font. So let me also add the same style to the table head. Now we can see that the table head has a different font size, and table cells have the content. Also, one thing we can add here is to always align the text to left, because table head's text by default is aligned to the center. So I can say text aligned to left and then hit save. Now this looks like a properly formatted table. So we have a tag name and a tag description. Um, so this is how tables are built. So tables have a combination of tags. It's not a single tag like headings or paragraphs. It is composed of different elements, and all these different elements are together um, called as HTML tables. We'll talk about few more elements in the next tutorials.